LinkedIn is your long-term asset. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, you can use it like as a real asset for looking in you if you wanted to find a new job, or if you wanted to raise some money, or if you're starting a new venture and you wanted to attract first clients. It's funny when you can spend like so much time on one post and like 200 views, 300 views, and then like you spend 3 minutes on one post and you have like 200K views. It's crazy. Like the same 20% of your clients, they give you in 80% of the cash flow. So like focus on these 20%. In B2B, some people think that some company business is buying something from other business, but it's not true. In reality, at the end, particular person buying something from the particular person. Yeah, they work in some companies, but it's P2P, not B2B. Okay, person from person.
Let's get it started from here. So my name is Renata Ravilo. I'm the founder of ghostwriting agency on LinkedIn that focuses on lead generation. And here we have Alex, who is the founder of Milman Blum, the B2B marketing sales agency. And Alex, you've been in B2B sales over a decade now, and just in 2 months of posting on LinkedIn, completely changed your business. So we're talking about 1 million views, 150 booked meetings, at least three closed deals worth nearly $100K in RRR, and even 2 brand integration that gave you $15K in free subscriptions. Hello.
Hi Renata, thanks for having me. Yeah, kind of true. Like all numbers, they're growing every day. But yep, um, I've been in on LinkedIn and like B2B sales for a while, but really like started to make content just recently. And I see, like it's a game changer for me right now. So thanks for inviting. I hope that I'll share with you my like fresh experience and help you to, I don't know, like maybe to copy it or maybe to gain something similar for yourself.
Yeah, that will be very valuable for our listeners because they're all focusing on getting results from LinkedIn. So today's podcast episode, will be how to turn LinkedIn views into revenue. 1 million views in 100K RRR in 8 weeks or so. So we will dive in on how you structure your content, how you combine it with the outreach and with the virality, and how you turn visibility into tangible revenue. I think this is the most important part because some are just doing that for the views, but we are talking money, right? And first of all, I have the question, are you doing this all by yourself, or is there a whole team behind the content creation, outreach, operations, and stuff?
It's a great question, and it's a really big pain for me because like I tried to outsource at least part of the process. Like I tried to hire like ghostwriters, content writers, designers, like agencies. I tried to use a lot like different AI models and SaaS services platforms to somehow to automate the process and to make it like easier for me. But nothing works. It's my own experience. Like nothing works for me better than like doing it manually by yourself. So like today I do the whole thing alone, like starting from the research part, like to find references, to find the topic, to find like to make the draft, to make the structure, to make the final the final version of the post, to make the picture itself, like everything I trying to do like by myself. And like 2 months like ago, I spent, I don't know, like 5 7 hours per week to post every day on LinkedIn, maybe more. Some posts like, I don't know, like I wasted more than 1 2 3 hours per post. It's crazy. Today, like it's kind of my routine, and I I spend no more than 20 minutes per post. Sometimes, like, my like most perform like best performing post, I spent like 3 minutes on it. So it's crazy, and it's like it's funny when you can spend like so much time on one post and like 200 views, 300 views, and then like you spend 3 minutes on one post and you have like 200K views. It's crazy. But yeah, alone, and I wish I can delegate at least the part with viral content for comment, to delegate it to someone, but you know, still this copy paste work. I still see that it's kind of really important to be involved there, because it's not only to share the, I don't know, the file, the list or something, I don't know, like the presentation pitch deck to someone, but it's also important to engage them, to start talking, like to ask some questions. And you cannot, you know, you cannot transfer all your thoughts, all your experience from your head to someone else. It's really hard to, for me, because like I know like teams, like, and people who really successfully build team around it and build the whole process. But in my case, I'm just starting and doing everything alone. Sorry for that long answer, because it's really big pain for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel your pains. Yeah, perfectly. It's really not that easy because I've been also, working with a lot of different founders. And yes, you're right. For some, it works. For example, for some, we managed to do even 400K for one post, like for example, impressions. For a founder that had only 3,000 connections, so that's pretty impressive. But so for some, it's just way harder because there is a lot of also, I guess. Processes of agreeing on everything, double checking, and that's just takes more time and for the results as well to catch up. So I think it's really depends. It's great that at least it works for you when you're doing it you're by yourself, and I'm really happy for you that you improved your process and you turned like a creation of one post from 3 hours, let's say, to like 20 minutes. And that's a great post that you did in just 3 minutes. And so I think it tells to our listeners a lot that sometimes you don't need to overthink and just create a post, especially if it's, hunts you and you think about it and you think it's really relevant. You just, go ahead, craft it, post it, and it might really get great results. That's happened to me as well. So yeah.
For me, it was a challenge just to start. And like, I know that I posted some really shitty content, like, I don't know, for the first 2, 3 weeks, it was really, I don't know, like low quality, I guess. But it's important to make it a part of your like daily routine, like, and to just to post. In practice, I see the result, I see engagement, see metrics, numbers, and this feedback, like, I learn really quickly, like when I have such a feedback, when I understand like this doesn't work, so like don't don't repeat it, like do something else. Yeah.
Yeah, I think learning from experience really matters. And how do you usually test out the content? Like, it's actually like, I want to test this later in the podcast, but it's okay as we started to talk about it. Just tell me how, like, you started to post. Now you think the posts were kind of cringe, right? But it's okay. And then you just moved from that pretty quickly. So, how do you approach this content creation right now in terms of especially testing out maybe new formats, new topics? And how long does it take for you to understand, for example, that this is not working and you need to try something else?
LinkedIn algorithms are brutal. They give you the feedback immediately. If your post isn't really like growing in terms of impressions and engagements, like during first hour after you posted it, like it means it's done. Like nothing can help you. So it's a shitty post. So for me, like the really critical part of the process is to make a deep research. Like when I say deep research, I mean like not like stealing someone else content, okay? But I really read a lot of other guys who I like their style, I like the structure, I like, like the way how they engage people in comments. So I am making a mishmash of like different approaches that I see that they go viral, and I'm trying to implement it to my own ideas, because like ideas I'm trying to make all the time. I'm trying to make really, you know something that I'm interested in, or something that I was involved in that project, or I made that kind of research for my client or something, and I can use it as a content. So ideas, I'm trying to, not trying, like 100% of my posts, I never ever I don't I never steal any kind of idea, but I can copy the structure, or I can copy the style. And that's that's what it really helps me to cover the idea in a beautiful format that LinkedIn algorithms, like they like it. They it's my understanding, like algorithms like see that this particular format was successful in past, and that's why they're trying to promote it, because like they believe it can go viral. I don't know, it's my feeling. Maybe it's not true. Like I don't know how exactly how exactly it was designed to work. But I believe that you need to spend 90% of your time on research, like finding the reference, and only 10% on crafting your post. Like, and also I'm trying to, ideas about the post, they go in and out. I mean, like, y- I'm trying to uh, put all my ideas in Notion immediately. I don't know, I'm in shower and I have a brilliant idea about the post. I just go out from the shower, no, like make a note about it, and then go back, because like if I miss it, it maybe it will never go back to me. So that's what I'm trying to do, and I have a long, I call it backlog. It's not a backlog for sure, but it's kind of a list of ideas that I wanted to talk about in my future posts. That works for me.
I think that's really helps because once, for example, you find finally time to write your content, you don't face this problem of empty shit, right? Like, oh, what should I write about? You just open your, like, say, backlog of ideas, and you're like, okay, now I'm feeling, okay, this one, and then just craft it. And I think this really speeds up the process. Though, one thing I would like to add on the content performance, because it is true that in the first few hours, you could see if that will be, let's say, a hit or not. Though I think right now they're also changing the algorithms, so the content started to perform way longer than just few hours. Because you might see from even your feeds, you can even see the posts that were made 3 weeks ago. Before, for example, they were just showing the ones that were posted the last 48 hours, let's say, and now, even like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, when you just scroll your feeds and you see somebody else posts that are quite old, let's say. And also, like, I had this practice for one of the founders, and I saw also from other people experiencing something similar. That, for example, in the first few hours, they got like pretty, let's say, shitty impressions, let's say around 500, and they were even considering to delete this post, but they just kept it. And then next day, it just went to 2,000. So, which is pretty strange that, especially after 24 hours, it started to scaling. And then on the third day, it went to 4,000. And on the fifth day, it went even to 6,000 impressions. With the connection base of only 3,000. So it's even double the connection. And like previously we would have considered that this post would not going to perform at all with 500 impression in the first few hours, but now we still give it a chance and we can see that in few days it can catch up and grow. So yeah, don't delete the content.
Yeah, it's true, but still, my posts, they grow like rapidly first 3 4 5 days. Then I can see some impressions. Still 80% of the result is the result of the first couple days. Then, like, for example, I just opened it to just to check. Like, my best post was I posted it like 2.5 weeks ago, and the last 7 days only 5.5K impressions. So, and like first 7 days it's 150K. So you see, it's still performing a little bit, but again, like it's not the same numbers, like different numbers. Yeah.
Still 5,000 extras just sounds pretty nice.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you think impressions is really important? What do you think is like? Uh, yeah.
It's good when you have them, but like my most favorite metric, let's say, it's usually the link clicks. If I include the link, for example, especially if it's like a CTA link where you invite somebody to a call or visit your website or something. So this is my most favorite one because you can follow through the funnel, right? If you have the impressions, etc. So I think this is the main one. Or, for example, the click on your premium link button that it's in the post if you have that one, right? So people really get interested in like, who the heck are you? Like, and I think that's really matters the most because they want to know more, right? What you do, maybe what you can offer them, and etc. But well, it's nice also to have some impressions and get traction, especially if they turn at least into followers, right? Because if you got like 100K impressions and you get 0 followers and nothing, like no interaction with your, website or something, that's not something we're going for.
Absolutely, I agree with you. But all this engagement, LinkedIn in general, they play with those metrics. Actually, if you, I try to copy paste every day all the statistics from the LinkedIn on the Google Sheet, and you can see that sometimes they decrease the number, then they increase back, then decrease. So it's, I guess it's a prox, like it's not the really precise. The numbers are not really precise, and for me, like when you have your first viral post, you like, wow, it's crazy. I'm like a popular right now. I'm a star. But then you realize that to convert those numbers, clicks, engagements, like reposts, all the stuff to real like cash on your account, it's not that easy. And for me, like the quality, for example, I posted a really viral post about Russian immigrant founders, and I get like thousands of comments, and I thought, wow, I have like so many I'll have so many interesting like conversations or something. But the reality was that most of those people, they were looking at job. And like I was, I talked with hundreds of people who were depressed because they're immigrants, they live somewhere abroad and they cannot find the job of their dream. And like, so the quality of these engagements, like, why do I need it? Like, I cannot I just wasted my time. Yeah. But but sometimes you have only, I don't know, like 3 5K impressions, but 5 comments from really high quality, like, I don't know, top executive from enterprises or something, that gives you much more, I don't know, a conversion into your pipeline. Those, especially in B2B, those clicks, maybe you can play with it in B2C world, when like check is small and people, like, they click in your website or your company page and they just can buy it, like, from this, from this funnel. But in B2B, when check is high, when it's like LTV, I don't know, like 10K and more, I don't think that those like engagements and like clicks and stuff, it's not that so I believe that quality much more important than quantity in that case. But it's a balance anyway. So that you cannot attract a lot of good attention if like you don't have if you cannot go viral. So it's you need to do both, but I prefer quality than quantity. That's my take.
That's for sure. And especially for the virality, sometimes it takes way much more time, right, to gather this, let's say, viral posts. We mentioned that in the beginning of our conversation. Maybe not all of our listeners know what kind of posts there are. It's like aggregated value that you offer for a comment. It can
Yeah.
be a list, it can be a guide, it could be like, I don't know, gigabytes of the materials you want to share, and or like system that you use for your work and etc. or research, right? And you ask to comments people to get the value from there. I bet it's a lot of people already seen that on Instagram happening before, right? And other platforms, it's quite common to ask to comment and then, yeah, to go on. So if we talk about real numbers and revenue, I think this is the most important metric, right? What you get out of it is how much money, right? So, 150 plus booked meetings. How do you turn the post engagements into real calls?
So first of all, like when you go viral on LinkedIn, people they like following you and they like sending you an invitation requests, and like you need to work with both. So like you check your new followers and you can see like okay, this is the good one, this is the good one. You can follow them back and send them a message. And like in that case, if you really feel that like it's a high quality lead for you, um, reply rate like 100% acceptance rate, like because like they're already following you, so like you follow back and you're friends. So like and reply rate like 60-70%, so it's crazy. So it's if you want to make any kind of cold outreach on LinkedIn with automation, without no matter, like conversion rate will be something like 20-30% acceptance rate, and like something like 10-50-20, I don't know, like percent reply rate. It's not that great. So work with your followers, try to engage them, and try not like to send them invitation request, but try to send them a message like something like, hey man, thanks for supporting my content and see that you just followed me. I see that you do this and this and that. So try to be a human being and to engage them.
And be proactive. You don't always
Sure.
wait
Yeah.
till they, decide to text you, right? But you actually do the, first step.
Yes, but it's not like, generic spam messages. I'm trying to like right now when sometimes you have like 1,000 new followers per day, so it's really hard to work with all of them. But I'm trying to screen them all, and there are some tools that you can use to and I'm using it to to a little bit to automate this process, just to help you to score the quality of the lead and to pay attention to like most valuable one. That's the thing that you can do. I don't know, with NA10, with DataBar, with Clay, a lot of different tools. If you want, you can find it. So yeah, the second thing that this you can do the same with the people who send you friend request. Yeah, you the same, just don't just not accept it. Like, accept it's good, but like ask a question, like I don't know, like try to talk with them. uh Usually I need 1 to 3 questions to ask them to understand, is it a good lead? Do I really can provide some value? Do I really need to jump on the call? So because when you have a lot of such, like right now, my direct messages on LinkedIn really spammed. Like a lot of different like guys trying to sell you something or just like to talk with you about something. So you need to prioritize, especially when you work alone. You need to prioritize all those, chats and like ask 1 to 3 questions and like I don't know, understand really quickly is it a good lead or not. And like but I don't know, like more than 50% of good meetings I got from the content for comment viral post when like people they are waiting you to send something like the file or something, and then you follow up them with the question like is it was it useful, what do you do, why do you need this list, what do you want it to do with it, are you fundraising, send me your deck. And after that you I don't know, like if you see there is like any match, you ask them to jump on a call. And like if you want, you can make I can make much more than 150, but my calendar is overbooked. Like next 2 3 weeks, I have no slots, so I prefer not to ask them to jump on the meeting. I prefer to qualify them really deeply, and after that, if I see there is like a really value for me for them, just only then to offer them to jump on a meeting. Because like to talk blah 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 all the day, it's not that good. I don't know. So there, it's not the like those approaches, like they're not the only one actually, but for me, I guess it's like 80% of all meetings that I have right now, those two.
That's cool. And I think especially having this leads from this, let's say, viral content really eases your, let's say, qualification as well. Because if, for example, you do a relevant post and you have already people who are like most likely are relevant for your, for example, sales process, right? And they actually want some value from you, so they are actually coming for you with you to you, right? So they like leaving the comments and maybe even texting you, oh, like I would like to receive this and that. Quick question: do you collect emails while you do that? Because I see a lot of people they don't really don't, and I think this is such a waste. At least for me, when we did this viral post for the founders, like what we did is also like using extra tools to collect the emails, so we can later on do the campaigns and be present more with this leads. Because I think it's really important, first of all, is differentiate your leads in terms of like LinkedIn is, sometimes very moody, right? With the algorithms, with everything, there's always a risk that you can be blocked, even if you're not using any automation and etc. Right? And I think it's really great when you have your leads in extra space. Let's say it's emails, right? Because emails will belong to you, and you can always, generate extra content for them, like extra value, and just from time to time, be in their mailbox just as a reminder. Because even if lead doesn't want something or need something right now, like you might be the first one who will pop up in their minds when they will actually need it.
Great question, actually. First of all, I really like the like cold emails and like email marketing. If you want, like I really like it because like it converts really good. But I so far I'm just only thinking like to start using it for like LinkedIn outreach, because like I already have some conversations with them on LinkedIn. If I need some, I wanted to like I can follow up them like I don't know, like separately. But I use email uh for people, like for my I call it dream ICP. So I wanted to use cold email just and focus it on top people that I wanted to reach out, and maybe they are not I posted about it on LinkedIn, by the way, like a couple days ago, that the quality of meetings from LinkedIn is far from like the quality of meetings from cold outreach, because like my perfect client doesn't have time to scroll on LinkedIn to read some posts, and like often my best clients, they have really bad LinkedIn accounts. They're not active there at all. They're not active on any social medias. And and that's why I use cold emails just to reach out such guys, because like it's the only way how to attract their attention. Actually, they read their email inbox every day, but they spend, I don't know, 5 minutes of their time on LinkedIn, and they're spammed there. And yeah, so I'm trying to divide it, but you're right that email channel, if you can make such kind of like newsletter, for example, it's a good way like to collect your first hundreds, like thousand subscribers for your newsletter. Start posting on LinkedIn, collect those guys, and offer them to subscribe on your newsletter. I guess that's a good way, and I want to make it one day.
I get you, and I know what stops you. I think it's a limited amount of time. Yeah. So this content creation is really a full-time job if you want it. Okay, I'm just curious though. First of all, then, what is your number one lead generation channel at this moment?
Email, I guess email. Yeah, and for my clients, that's the same. So I work with really high check B2B companies. They trying to sell like products like 50K, 100K, 1 million, 2, 5, $10 million. And the best performing channel for me is the cold email for sure. LinkedIn helps you to, and not only LinkedIn, but like to be presented on socials, like your website, some media, helps you to build trust. So, in B2B, some people think that some company business is buying something from other business, but it's not true. In reality, at the end, particular person buying something from the particular person. Yeah, they work in some companies, but it's P2P, not B2B. Okay, person from person. And I believe that LinkedIn content, I needed more for building this trust. For example, like this you mentioned this 150K ARR, but I also have clients from other pipelines, which like they just checked my LinkedIn. They see that I'm real. They see that I'm active. They see that I have a lot of likes and comments and so on. And they, okay, I trust that guy. I wanted to work with him. You know, and it helps me to close deals and like to increase my conversion rate from other channels.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So it's not only like works on your upper funnel of getting more leads, but it also helps to close more leads in upper the conversion rates.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree. That's what we saw a lot as well. So, just to conclude, you think that what makes people buy, for example, from you is also a lot about your authority, right? So, that you built on the LinkedIn, uh, rather than maybe an offer or the follow-up system, or what actually makes, or it's all together and you
No, it's
can
all together for sure, but I'm trying not to follow up my clients at all. I'm trying because like if they really need it, if they really like it, they'll buy it. I stopped wasting a lot of time on the offer, because like sometimes you just send a short message on WhatsApp and Telegram, like as an offer, and that's enough. Like for that, I'll do this and this for that amount of money. Do you like it? Yes, this is the agreement. Okay, like check the agreement if you want it. But I believe that's all about the trust. They need to start trusting you. Like people, they don't have time to like looking for some contractor, like I don't know, for months, 2 3 4. They wanted to make, if they really need it right now, they have like couple days to make a decision. They and that like they just need to like to decide, do they trust you or not. If you're a nice guy, if you're an active, if you, I don't know, like have good cases, some people maybe like you have some testimonials, recommendations, that's enough. So don't be pushy. I was really aggressive in terms of sales like 5, 7, 10 years ago. But I don't know, right now, maybe it's because of the experience, maybe it's because of the age, maybe it's something else. I don't know. I'm trying to like actually I learned how to say no. You know, sometimes you see the client, you see that you can sell, but you say, look, man, I think that you don't need my service. You need to go like and do this and this and that, or like try to talk with that guy, or just say, look, you need just to try this platform like $50 per month. You don't need my help at all. So I learned how to say no, and how to focus on like top, usually 20%, like Pareto, you know, like the same 20% of your clients, they give you in 80% of the cash flow. So like focus on these 20%. Yeah.
Mhm. That's true. That's true. That's a good one. So, and if you had to start again from zero today, what would you do differently?
Also a good question. I guess that my big mistake was that I tried to make content for different ICPs. What I say, like I started to post something for startups, then for investors, then for immigrants, then so, and that's why right now my followers, they're really, you know, they're not homogeneous, like that's the world, like they're like from different industries, from different and sometimes I see that uh like I don't know, I post this thing and the only part of my audience like are engaging, and others, they are not interested at all. So try to keep in mind your perfect ICP from the very beginning, for whom you're making this content, and who you want to see as a client, or who you want to see as like as people who like who want to engage with it, or who are interested in what you're posting. I guess that's really important. And I started to post when I had like 7K followers, something like that. So if you have like just only 1K, I guess it's for you, it's even more important, like to start building your network, really quality network, you know, not like I want to post everything for everyone. That's a bad idea.
That's for sure. That's a good advice because we see that a lot. I had an example with one of the founders that had, for example, a 10K followers base, but most of them there were investors. So when we started doing a content to attract leads, which were not investors for sure, they didn't really interact the content because, as per algorithms, of course, LinkedIn first shows to your followers base. If they don't really interact with it, then it doesn't go further. So if you have irrelevant people on your LinkedIn accounts, it's really hard to attract more attention with the content you're making for a different type of ICP.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Quick question also, like what one sentence you would tell every founder that just want to get on with the LinkedIn content, but maybe still scared to show up or thinks maybe it will not give them proper results?
I guess like it's in one sentence, I'll say like LinkedIn is your long-term asset. So, which means that like if you need to start as soon as possible, and like in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years you can use it like as a real asset for looking in you, if you wanted to find a new job, or if you wanted to raise some money, or if you're starting a new venture and you wanted to attract first clients, like a lot of like this is a real asset. And I believe that you need to focus not only on the result like today or tomorrow, but you need to think that you can use it for like a decade or something. Yeah. So on long term perspective, I don't know, like your LinkedIn gives you like, I don't know, millions of dollars. So like a lot of hidden um benefits, that people don't understand it, and they don't understand why they need to pay so much money, like, or they need to work with like high quality ghostwriters. Like, why do they need to grow their LinkedIn? Because like they only think about like today or tomorrow, but when you think about like in 10 years from now, you see that like a really big value. Yeah, so sorry, it was not short, but yeah.
Not a one sentence, definitely, but it's okay. But I do agree with you because, especially if you build the right audience, right, on your LinkedIn, and we all know that the quality of the audience on LinkedIn is way higher than, for example, on TikTok or Instagram, both accumulated, because on other platforms, people just go usually to entertain themselves, right? But LinkedIn is where a lot of people with the high intent to buy also goes, and it's more quality people out there. And you'll be surprised how LinkedIn can serve you in very unexpected ways. And you can even be influencer, right, on LinkedIn, because you start growing, as you mentioned, right, as we mentioned in the beginning, you even have like 15K of value of the partnerships, right? I guess it's because you were very active on LinkedIn as well. So that's what you can have, right? So you can even use a paid promotion, whatever, because we also see a lot of people are, doing that. And I even know like people who can sell their, like, for example, one LinkedIn post, like as advertisements for at least 3 to 5K euros, which is, I think it's not bad. I don't think you can do something like this on other platforms, especially having only 15K followers. So it's it's not even a huge following base, but because for example, this person builds a very relevant audience, a niche audience, right? It really values way much more. So I do agree that people need to start as soon as possible and focus on a long-term goals. That's what we do. For example, for our founders, we decide on the content pillars, right? What we're going to use in terms of how we want to this founder to be seen in a year or so, like what this founder will be known in a year or so. So not just like, try to get all the leads in one day, right? But actually build this influence, and as it's modern and fancy to say, thought leadership. God forgive me. But yeah, on LinkedIn. I also have a question. What do you think, though, keeps apart regular posters on LinkedIn? The ones that just post and get nothing from it, and the ones that actually gain results and revenue from it.
You need to learn from expert, like not experts, but like I know a lot of people who are just like they spend zero time like on research, on understanding the process, understanding the how the platform works, and like they're trying to post everything they have in their like that came into their mind, like to I wanted to talk about it and I'll post about it. Okay, so and after like I don't know, or another like really bad thing, just to ChatGPT, like ask ChatGPT to post about this thing with hashtags, with all these dashes, long dashes. I don't know, like so I believe that before before posting, you need to learn, at least try to learn a little bit about the platform, about some rules, about some best practices. I can recommend some, like if you Google it, you'll find it. There are lots of free and not free materials, a lot of good communities, like who shares like their knowledge. Even you can open your feed on LinkedIn and start reading posts that you see on your feed, and you'll see who is successful, who's not. Okay, so and try to not to reinvent the basics, like the bicycle. Try to build, like to use best practices, and I don't know, like to learn before posting. That's my take here.
Yeah, I can hear also one more take from it is not having a strategy like of posting, right? Not just posting whatever comes to your mind, but you actually need to be strategic of what you want to say, how you want to shape it in that. And we got back again to the importance of the frameworks of the post that you do, because some people say that, oh, I hate this, LinkedIn format when there's like a lot of gaps, a lot of, like one sentence, one thought, and etc. The thing is that usually frameworks do perform way better on LinkedIn, and people just usually scroll the post and don't really read the huge messages when there's just one text. You can do that if you're super famous from something else, right? And people will read it anyway just because they know your worth. But if you're almost like a new one, right? So let's say nobody really knows about you and they don't really trust your like huge text to put an effort, for example, to read it. So do use the best practices in the framework from LinkedIn. They tend to perform better. Okay, thank you very much, Alex, for joining us today and sharing your experiences. I hope our listeners get a lot of value from it and just go and implement it, starting from studying the platform, right, and the best practices, and then implementing into their content strategy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.